Good evening, good morning, whenever you're watching this. I'm so delighted that you're here because today I'm sharing important information about how to overcome overwhelm. Let me say that 5 times fast. How to overcome overwhelm and have more motivation. So let's talk about the energy of overwhelm. Imagine yourself standing at the doorway of the dump room, the room where you are stashing your stuff and then you'll get to someday, right? Many people have rooms like this, and it is the epitome of feeling overwhelmed. Perhaps you feel overwhelmed when you're making a running to-do list of things to do for your business or for your life that needs to get done. Maybe you are thinking about writing a book or creating a course, and that thought fills you with excitement, but also terror because of all the different things that may be involved with that. In that moment, you may feel immobilized, like a deer in the headlights, or you may do the opposite. You might run away because it just feels too impossible. Now, in what I've noticed in my experience of working with people in their homes with their clutter is that when someone is looking over their own space, everything seems equally hard. The truth is that it's not once you find your way in. But in that moment of overwhelm, it all seems like too much. And this can be overwhelming in different ways. There can be visual overwhelm triggers, there can be decision overwhelm triggers, and emotional overwhelm triggers. And each of those things is a different situation. Perhaps you came to this room or this list or this project knowing that it was going to perhaps make you overwhelmed, and you gave yourself a pep talk to just do it, an inspirational, motivational talk. But at this moment of overwhelm, that isn't helping at all, and you just want to avoid this feeling. There's a better way, and tonight I want to teach you that because I understand this scenario of overwhelm, both from a personal standpoint and professionally. You could say that I specialize in helping people through the mucky muck of feeling overwhelmed, of the situations that feel impossible. So my name is Kate Varness, and I am a business and a life coach. I combine energy work, human design, and 15 plus years as a professional organizer and coach. The magic of what I do is to help people get past resistance so that they get things done in a way that matches them. There's no cookie cutter approaches here. And in the end, people have a freedom from and freedom to. What does that mean? It's freedom from the baloney conditioning that they may have, those rules that they may have been living by throughout their lifetime, and freedom to express who they are fully in an uninhibited and fabulous way. Now, that may seem impossible to do if you're currently feeling very much like you need to contain yourself. My invitation for you is to be bold, live out loud, and let your space and your life support that process. So, I'm helping you with this tonight by teaching you the right now process. And that's going to help you anytime that you have resistance. Okay, hold on, just clicking out some tips here on my live. All right. So let's think about what happens when you're in that moment of overwhelm and you either freeze or you run away. What follows from that? Ding, 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 you got it. You reinforce the story that you're, whatever the adjective might be. You're lazy, you're undisciplined, you're stupid, you're a failure. Whatever that narrative is gets reinforced when the overwhelm wins, I guess, if you put it that way. So this right now process is actually making space for your wishes. It's making space for your true reactions instead of seeking to slay them and all of that violent language that we sometimes use when we're going to battle against ourselves. I don't believe you have to go to battle against yourself. You can work with yourself, but you need to know how to listen. You need to know how to allow yourself to feel what you feel. And many of us were not taught how to do that. We were taught to push that away, to stuff it down, to, maybe people are angry and they blast it out at someone else. But these feelings that we are experiencing need to be heard because they hold really valuable information. And that information can be embraced like a friend because it is. You'll see in the examples here in a moment how much that initial feeling of overwhelm masks the true different needs and scenarios that come up in the situations that spark the overwhelm. So let's take a look at what this process might be. Think about a situation right now, one that's overwhelming to you, one that you might be avoiding. Maybe it's getting your tax papers together for the accountant. Maybe you do have that dump room that needs to be addressed, but you've been avoiding it. Maybe you're need to prepare for something, but you just can't get yourself going to do it. Whatever that situation is, bring that to mind, because as you apply this process, it's going to help you to integrate the process, to actually play it out, and that will allow it to be a technique that you can pull forward in the future. But if you don't have something in mind right now, that's okay. Just write down the 3 steps of this process and you'll be able to revisit them when the next situation comes up, which for most people will probably occur sometime within the next week. Okay, ready? The first step of the right now process is to ask yourself the question, why am I not motivated right now? Okay, so let me say that question again. Ask yourself, why am I not motivated right now? And then you're going to tap in and you're going to write down whatever words come forward, whatever thoughts and phrases that are coming up about why you're not motivated. No judgment, just allow them to come forward. Maybe you want to partner with someone else and have them tell you, you tell them what's coming up as it comes up, whatever you want to do. So here's some examples, and there's 5 different examples that I'm going to be pulling through each of the steps. So just know that these are going to get developed as examples for you to help understand this. So one response that might come up is, I don't have enough time to do this. Another response might be, I don't feel like it. Perhaps you are responding with the idea that I can't do this until I have this, that, or the other thing. Or perhaps you're mad. You say, I'm mad that I have to do this. I don't want to do this. Or maybe you just don't know where to start. So those are 5 different scenarios of things that might come up if you're feeling overwhelmed. The second step of this process is to become curious about your right now answer. So if you have the reason of, I don't have the time to do this, instead of fighting that, get a little bit more curious about what that might mean. How busy is my day? How long do I think that this might take? Simple questions, right? No emotion needs to be added into that. If you're not feeling like it, ask, why am I not feeling like this? Am I bad at this kind of task? Have I not had enough sleep? Or am I hungry? Or something physical needs to be addressed for me? Information, right? The next scenario is around waiting for something that you might need before you can do it. Ask yourself, what information, what do I need? What person can help me? What tool, what decision do I need to make that will allow me to work on this? Just get curious about it. If you're angry about having to do it, ask yourself, am I saying yes when I really want to say no? You're going to know the answer to that one right away. It's probably saying, I am saying yes when I mean no. But right now, we're not trying to solve the issue. We're just curious about it. The final scenario of it feeling overwhelming because of what you're seeing can be explored by saying, what is it that's making this overwhelming? Is there too much in front of me? Do I need rules about what to keep or discard, or what my next steps are for this process? Curiosity. All right, step 3 takes that curiosity even further. Let's take it a step beyond the, just exploring it a bit more. But to see, what is it? What information is here? First situation is, am I overscheduled in this day? Could I do part of the task? How does it look like tomorrow? Information is here if you ask. How about being tired? Or if you're not feeling like doing it. Am I too tired right now? What would I need to have the energy to do this? Have I created a situation where I can't succeed? Sometimes when we set goals for ourselves, the goals are not achievable. And a part of ourselves knows that. And so then we begin to rebel. We begin to build resistance. Other times we're simply not taking care of ourselves enough. Now, I've been in a push here to get a project done. And so I've been working really hard. And today I was exhausted. My brain wasn't working. I needed a break. So instead of sitting at my computer and just wishing that somehow I would magically be able to concentrate and focus, I went and took a nap. And it was really useful. So that time I took away, that seems like a contradiction, was actually so necessary, not only in conveying to that inner Kate who needs to be taken care of, that I'll take care of you, but also from a physiological standpoint, because I felt so much better after I took that nap. And I was able to then have the concentration that I needed in order to do the task. In the scenario where you're waiting on something, identify it. What is the specific thing? Who can help me find out? When might I contact them? Or when might I be able to go get this tool that I need to move forward? How can I make this particular decision? Identifying and isolating the very next step is going to be really helpful for that. In the scenario where you're saying yes when you mean no, let's get more curious about that. What's physically happening when someone asks you to do something? Are you immediately responding? Are you taking a pause? You can certainly make it your personal policy that you don't say yes to anything until you've had a chance to look at your schedule. And you can say as much. It's a perfectly reasonable thing to do, to say, I need to check my calendar before I can respond to you. When you check your calendar, make sure you are taking into account not just the responsibilities that you have, but the energy that you have. Because every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you have to say no to something that you do want to do. Because we have a limited amount of time and energy, right? And the energy drain that happens when we say yes to things that are not filling our cups, that are not in our wheelhouse, we're really doing a disservice to ourselves and to others, because there may have been someone who really wanted to do that task, who was suited for that task. Meanwhile, you don't have the energy to do the thing that you are meant to do on this planet. So be a good guardian of your time, a good steward of your time and energy. But having a situation that you say yes to something you don't want to do, that is a different kind of situation than simply not having the time or not having all the information that you need. So you can see how becoming curious about what's keeping you from being motivated in this right now moment brings very helpful tools for you to get past overwhelm and find motivation. So the final situation here was the one where you're physically overwhelmed and there's the triggers in the environment that are causing you to not want to do the thing, to not have motivation to complete the action. There are so many ways that you can overcome this with just a fresh perspective. Allow your brain to brainstorm possible ways that you could do it differently. Maybe you clear off your desk and you just bring back that one thing and work on it. Maybe you go to a cafe for a couple hours and do the tasks in a different environment. Maybe you can find guidelines that will make your decision making or the physical actions easier. Maybe you will bring in support to help you feel like you've got a witness to your process. There's a technique in the organizing world called body double, and a body double doesn't necessarily need to be involved in the project with you. They can simply be present in the space with you, anchoring you to the task. That there's something about their presence that allows you to stay on track. Now, you may be saying, this is crazy. This is what I have needed my whole life. I had a client once who said, in order to clean my room, my mom needed to come into my room and sit on the bed, and then I would do it. So if that's your story too, know that you can support yourself really well by using this technique of the body double. And a good body double is not someone who's coming in to tell you what to do. So you can just set the rules for them. You can say, hey, just bring your book over and you can sit and read in the room with me while I write up this report. You get to support yourself in the way that best suits you. And that is the long-term solution, right? Not trying to force yourself into these other ways of doing it that just aren't working for you, are they? So let's find another way to be successful. Each of these scenarios that I've used as examples are different. And when you become curious, when you allow that initial right now response to come up and to allow yourself to be curious about it, to just explore it a bit more, the genie in the bottle is let loose, and suddenly you have this amazing insight into the solution, because guess what? You are the expert on yourself. You have the solutions inside of you, but it's a matter of slowing down and attending to those and allowing those to emerge, and then honoring them with different ways of approaching the situation other than trying to go to battle with yourself or resist something or to push it down. What's coming up is important information. So this process allows you to tap into that. It can be easier. Just give it a try. Let me know if it works for you. I also have another resource for you tonight to help things be easier. And this is one that I've created to help you get organized in your space. Not in a way that is awful and feels like punishment, but in a way that you can do little by little and enjoy along the process. I know that might be a bit of a stretch for you. For me, I feel so good when I open a drawer that I've recently tidied, and I just feel really proud of myself. And I feel good about my space. I feel like the space that I'm in is supporting me, and then that gives me a sense of momentum that encourages me for other kinds of tasks that I want to do. So this freebie, this resource for you is called Delightful Spaces, and I'm going to put that link in the comments so that you can get your copy. You can get your free copy here and download it, and all you need to do, this is what it looks like, all you need to do is to figure out what week that we're on and look at the small space, the small project that is set up for that week. I do believe this week is a bathroom cabinet. So tidy that bathroom cabinet. You're going to feel really good. Think about it every morning. You wake up and if you're opening your cabinets and it's cluttered and you can't find stuff, that stresses you out. You're starting the day with stress and you don't even realize it. So take a few minutes and tidy up the space. There's some really brief instructions on what to do, how to do it, But this is a great little encouragement to set you up for success. Now, my mission for the next couple of months is to create a wave of inspiration and delight so that your home and your life are supporting you, that you can have that abundant life that you so desire. And so I'm doing that in a few ways. One of them is this free resource, Delightful Spaces. Again, that link is in the comments. I'm also creating a course, an online course that will support people who need just a bit more instruction about how to get organized. And this is going to be a life-changing course. I can already tell as I'm putting it together and pulling in all of my 15 plus years of being in the trenches and knowing what works and what doesn't. Real life organizing, that's what this course is for. So that's in process of getting created, and look for that later this month. And finally, these weekly lives are ways that I can support you and give you tips and tools and encouragement so that you're feeling on track towards the life that you want to have, the abundant life that you desire to have. So tune in weekly at the same time and place for information sessions. Hopefully you found this to be valuable. Next week I'm going to talk about organizing and other people. So we're talking about how other people's stuff affect you and vice versa. So we're going to dig into that. So join me next Tuesday night at the same time, or look for the replay on that. If you have any questions, please place those into the chat. I just want to do a quick summary of those 3 steps for the right now process. Number 1 is to ask the question, why am I not motivated right now? Step 2 is to become curious about your right now answer. Step 3 is to follow that curiosity further and really dig into what that might mean. And open your eyes to the perspective of other solutions that you hadn't perhaps thought about before. So grab your resource, write down your questions, and I will come back and take a look. If you have questions, I will come back and answer them if you're watching the replay. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope that you got some insight and inspiration, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.